Okay, so yesterday was November 10th. Today's November 11th, 2020. And my daisies were all, done for the season. We had a good heat streak. Here, last 4 or 5 days have been really warm, unseasonably. And so I got fresh daisies, and the bees came back. So I don't know where they live, but they're somewhere around here, and I'm gonna build them a home so I can have some of their honey next year. But another thing that was exciting yesterday is we have achieved germination, and so I have Swiss chard, the purslane. I already planted spinach and Swiss chard there, so that whole area there is gonna be our January or December lettuce and leafy greens. So that's going to be the spinach and the Swiss chard, and that means that over here is going to be the lettuce and romaine, the butter crunch. That's the Simpson lettuce in that plot, so we're going to do butter crunch and romaine lettuce there. And then here we're going to do some root vegetables, turnips and beets, and I'll do onions and garlic and everything else in here too. There's enough space to just kind of plant throughout. We might divide that up into thirds, January or December 1st, January 1st, February 1st, But it's coming together. The December game plan and the January game plan is coming together. You can already see, like, December, January, right? So that was November, December, January, and we're gonna have, this is gonna be January too. Up in here we got plenty of dirt to work with. It's not all for compost, just the sides. I'm gonna keep bringing in compost. I got a food storage bin over there, so I have food and paper waste going in a bin. I have a pile of compost on the outside over there that I gotta move in here over time, but it's still cooking, right? I put a wheelbarrow over it to keep it warm into December, and we're gonna be bringing it into here and piling it up, and that's actually gonna generate heat, just like those beds in the back, and all the growing will generate heat too. So we'll stay pretty toasty in the winter months is the goal, and we're gonna find out is the experiment. But definitely, where this box started, I've been digging up. Just, that's basically January across to the Dr. Pepper. Right, December on that side, January in this side. And we'll probably do the same kind of rotation inside the bed. And even in, because I got onions in the back corner of that. I'm gonna do the onions every 2 weeks. I imagine they're all gonna be ready about the same time. But anyway, you've looked at this garden enough. We got radishes. Okay, carrots are gonna come up over there, and I'm gonna do some other things in here that will fit. We can put other things in there while our root vegetables are growing. We could probably put a couple heads of lettuce in there, maybe. I don't know. I got to think about that. And I'm not gonna be doing any more planting until January 1st, just because that's spacing the planting a month apart. Like I said, when I planted these, we got cabbage that is 100 days to maturity. We got carrots that are 90 to 100 days. Radishes could be ready December 14th. They'll probably be ready. Cucumbers, all these things are going to be ready at different times, and we can rotate as everything comes up in harvest. But so that's why in the winter we're spacing our planting a month apart, and we're planting a variety of maturity dates because we're starting a rotation, okay? And that rotation is going to be organic. The garden's going to tell me when it's ready to pull up something and replant something else. But to get that going, we planted November 1st, December 1st, January 1st, back to February 1st, and we'll see where we're at from there. Because everything's gonna after that, everything's gonna be replanted based on when the plot is ready. Once we get into March, we're gonna be planting every time something comes out of the ground, something's going right back into the ground. So we have a really long grow season over the winter, and we can stay warm in here. Some of these things might not get enough sunlight, and they might go direct to seed, and that's okay too, because then we'll have seeds, right? So it's a learning process. We're going to figure out what works and what doesn't, what grows well in the greenhouse over winter, and what does better outside during the rest of the season. So, but so far so good. And I talked a little bit about, holy crap, this, see this? It is nothing but delicious. I love the Swiss chard. Yeah, that's gonna do really well. It's really sweet. It's got this earthy tone, fresh out of the garden. You don't find in stores, that's for sure. So we got purslane, which is pig's weed, incidentally. So I gotta harvest and clean and add those to my greens as they come up like that. So actually, that's gonna get picked today, and it's gonna come up again, and we're gonna keep picking those leaves before they turn into this. See what happens there. I mean, these leaves are still good, but that's the best. That's the way you want it. Big old leaf coming out of the ground here, and yeah, I don't want too much. I don't want too much of this stuff right now. We're gonna let ground cover like that grow. So yeah, lots of leafy greens here, dandelion greens, chard. The spinach came up outside. It started yellowing today, so I brought it inside. I just put it in a box and I set the box down. And that's how that's gonna go. I didn't find Swiss chard. I pulled it out, but anyway, that's the update. I got some things germinating in the mini greenhouse, but it's hard to tell whether they're weeds yet or not. But we can start tending to the radishes and pulling weeds now that we can identify the radishes and pick around them. Like I said before, leave the sides grow, but we only want to leave the sides grow because of the root structure, and we want to keep our dirt, right? So we're not pulling roots. We're kind of, I'd rather use scissors, right? Because I didn't want to pull the root out. But we just keep that in check, keep it from overgrowing, but let the roots stay. Because at the end, at the end of the day, it's all going to be green manure. It's all going to break down into carbon and nitrogen and potassium and everything else. So whatever I don't eat and put in my body, it's going to put right back into the dirt for the next crop rotation. So, and you can see the mini greenhouse is always a cloud. It's the same in here. It's not enough sunlight. There we go. Now we're raining. But we let the condensation build up a little bit and give it some knocks, and we water the greenhouse that way. Always keep water in here, and every 4 or 5 days, Thursday I think is the next kind of what I'm going to call intensive watering, but we throw 10 or 20 gallons in there, just so we can always make it rain like that. So the canopy didn't work out the way I wanted, so I converted it into the hood. And we're going to run this experiment. I don't really like the way it looks, but it does. I found, we come up in here at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was, it's toastier in here. And then it's even warm. It's warmer underneath the canopy than it is outside the canopy when it's in the middle of the night, And the middle of November. So we did trap some heat that way. That worked. I just don't like the way it looks. But it did what I wanted it to do, which is more important. Thanks for joining me today. Like and share, subscribe if you're so inclined. I don't know if I talked about my apple trees. I want to pull 20 of these saplings out of the ground. I have 2 now. This one is actually a maple. And what's really interesting, I pulled that out. They're attached to the same root. Seed fell into a root, and now I got a maple and an apple tree. And that's just the way it goes. I'm really, this one's taller than I am. But I got 2 out of the ground. I have 34 more bags, but I'm only going to do 20 apple saplings because I got lavender and blackberries to put in the rest of the grow bags there. And I've been taking advantage of the mulch and the ground cover. Don't burn your leaves. Put them on the soil that you're going to be planting your food in. That's food. I have water collecting here. That plant material is going to decay, and that's food. Okay. People burn their leaves and then go buy Miracle-Gro. It doesn't make any sense. Stop doing that. You don't need to spend money when you can pull it out of the dirt instead. Right? Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that before I go on some kind of tangent, because that is where I am. A beautiful, beautiful day. It's going to be the last warm one. It's actually dropped to the 40s. It's supposed to be a high in the 40s all day. We've had 60 and high 50s all the rest of the week, but overnight it's going to dip to the 30s again. And before long it'll be 28 and 21 degrees, and we're going to find out how well the plants do in the greenhouse with a little bit of warmth during the cold growing season. Hopefully we get a lot. Thanks again.